Ladies and gentlemen, Club Shay Shay family, I got something to say today about a name that's been in the headlines for all the wrong, and lately, all the quiet reasons. We talking about Deshaun Watson. That's right, the quarterback that the Cleveland Browns gave a king's ransom and the first fully guaranteed $230 million contract in NFL history. The same guy who's now posting honeymoon videos from a luxury yacht in Monaco with one-word captions like Monaco and sailing away. Now listen, I'm all for love. I'm all for happiness. But when I see that kind of post, I can't help but ask myself, and I know Browns fans do too, sailing away from what exactly, Deshaun? Is it just a vacation? Or are you sailing away from the weight of expectations? From accountability? Or maybe, just maybe, from the Browns' quarterback future altogether? Let's talk about it. Because this whole Deshaun Watson saga, it's deeper than a TikTok and more layered than a wedding album. Deshaun Watson was once the golden child of the NFL. Clemson superstar, beat Alabama in the title game, came into the league in 2017 and immediately looked like he belonged. When he was at his best, Deshaun was top 5 in almost every quarterback metric. He was mobile, accurate, composed. That 2020 season with the Texans, 4,823 yards, 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Man, he was cooking like grandma on Sunday. But then came the scandal. More than 20 women, allegations of sexual assault and misconduct, lawsuits, a whole media circus, and whether you believe he was innocent, misunderstood, or guilty, it don't matter for this discussion. What matters is that man missed an entire season, came back with a suspension, paid a $5 million fine. And now, after all that, he's played in just 19 games in 3 years. Now look here. Jimmy Haslam and the Browns went all in. They gave up multiple first-round picks and handed out the richest, most guaranteed contract in league history to a guy they hoped could turn the franchise around. But if we being real, if we taken off the Browns' colored glasses, Deshaun Watson has given them next to nothing in return. Since arriving in Cleveland, Watson has totaled 3,365 passing yards, 19 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, and in 2024, he only started 7 games before tearing his Achilles. Finished with just over 1,100 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 3 picks. That ain't $230 million production. That's $230 million frustration. Now let's go back to that video. Deshaun and his wife Jillian is out there living their best life. Monaco, dancing on yachts, reenacting scenes from The Wolf of Wall Street. And let me be clear, I ain't hatting. The man deserves happiness. But when Browns fans see that, while they watch Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders fight it out in training camp, it don't sit right, especially when Watson himself says in another video, everyone is doubting me. Everyone don't think I can get back to where I was. But I know I'm gonna be way better than before. Well, Deshaun, if that's true, if you're really coming back stronger, then why does it feel like you're already mentally checking out? The reality is this. The Browns are preparing for a future without Deshaun Watson, and I believe, deep down, Deshaun knows it too. Let's look at the Browns QB room right now. Joe Flacco, Super Bowl champ, veteran, gunslinger. Kenny Pickett, former first-rounder, still young, still moldable. Dylan Gabriel, rookie, dynamic athlete. Shedeur Sanders, the X-Factor, strong arm, even stronger pedigree. And no way you carry 5 quarterbacks on your 53-man roster. Somebody's the odd man out. And with Watson's Achilles still not 100%, odds are he starts 2025 on the PUP list or worse, IR. That's not just a red flag. That's a flare gun in the middle of the night. Even Jimmy Haslam, the man who signed off on this whole experiment, called it a swing and miss. You ever hear a team owner say that about a guy still under contract for $230 million? Nah, that's the sound of a franchise moving on in real time. So what happens next for Deshaun? There's two roads ahead. Option 1, he comes back, fully healthy, motivated, becomes a top 10 QB again, silences critics, leads the Browns deep into the playoffs. Option 2, he never fully recovers. Option 2, he never fully recovers, gets replaced by a younger, cheaper option. The Browns take the cap hit and release him after 2025. He becomes a cautionary tale. I want to believe in option 1. I do. But history and common sense ain't exactly on his side. Achilles injuries are brutal, and when you've already been out so long, that rust don't just shake off overnight, especially when you got rookies and veterans breathing down your neck. Let's be honest, Deshaun's legacy is no longer just about football. It's about perception. It's about redemption. His wife Jillian's called their wedding the happiest moment of my life. And good for her. But fans don't want honeymoon photos. They want fourth quarter comebacks. They want wins. And that's the part of the story Deshaun still has to rewrite. You see, Deshaun Watson isn't just playing for a job. He's playing for his reputation, for his place in NFL history, for the chance to go out on his terms, not Twitter's. So here's where I stand. I hope Deshaun Watson balls out. I hope he proves me and every critic wrong. But I ain't gonna ignore what my eyes and my gut tell me. Deshaun Watson is sailing away, not just on a yacht, not just on a honeymoon, but from Cleveland, from expectations, from being the guy, because when you're really locked in, when you're focused on a comeback, you ain't got time for TikToks. You ain't reenacting movie scenes on the Riviera. You grinding, you sweating, you fighting for your job like it's 4th and goal. Deshaun Watson still has talent, no doubt. But talent alone don't cut it in the NFL anymore. It's about availability, durability, accountability. And right now, Deshaun got one foot on the field and the other on that boat in Monaco. Let's not forget this. Football is a business. The Browns have to weigh the cost of keeping Watson against what they're getting in return. If they move on, they'll eat a massive cap hit. But sometimes, that's better than dragging out a bad investment. Remember how the Rams cut bait with Todd Gurley? Or how the Falcons moved on from Matt Ryan? When the numbers no longer make sense, the loyalty fades. Watson's deal may go down as one of the worst contracts in NFL history. Not because of who he was, but because of what he became. An injured, unreliable, and controversial figure with a massive price tag. If he doesn't turn it around, it'll be the cautionary tale GMs show rookies during their first team meeting. Cleveland's future at QB probably won't include Watson. That don't mean he's finished in the league, but that window he once had, that MVP caliber shine, that moment has passed. And unless he can claw his way back, step by painful step, his name will be remembered not for the greatness he once showed, but for the risk the Browns took and lost. And you know me, I call it how I see it. Deshaun, if you really believe in your comeback, then prove it. Get off that yacht, get back in that film room, and show the world you're more than a headline. You can sail away, but only if you're heading towards something better. This is Shannon Sharp. Club Shay Shay approved.